Hello everybody. I'm a little bit nervous because I don't generally show my face. I find it a little distracting, but I was just called to show my face, show who I am. My name is Paige. This is the Alchemical Cup. Thank you for joining us. Just going to do a quick general read to, test all the equipment, see how I feel about being on camera. You can see my lounge room in the background, sorry about that. Yeah, this is just a message for whoever needs to hear it. Current energies, probably between you and another person. I'm going to choose 3 cards from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck, and we're going to look into the energies properly using the Gilded Tarot, Sarah Marchetti's Gilded Tarot. And the Wisdom of the Oracle is by Colette Baron Reid. So thank you for being with me. I'm going to get 3 cards up the top just to see sort of, not past, present, future, but a little of that. I don't like to read future per se. I think of the future cards as being, given how the energies are going now, where might this lead? But if you don't like the outcome, then that's the whole point, is that you can change it. So there's 1. So the first card that's come out is called Poised. It's a really beautiful card, number 48, so 12 and then 3. Oh, there you go. Too many. A little talkative, this deck. I haven't used this yet in any of my videos, just used it on my Instagram. If you want to obviously like, share and subscribe, that'd be really helpful, but also I do have Instagram and Facebook. I use Instagram mostly and just post those same things to Facebook. Okay, so Spirit, what messages do we need to know? I need 2 more cards, please. I haven't connected with this deck for very long yet, so I do find sometimes it takes a little bit to get the messages out, but they're really beautiful messages. So 2 more cards, please, Spirit. That's 1, and that's 2. Okay, so the second card that came out is a card called Imagine, and the third one is called Serendipity. I'm going to show you them one at a time. Now you can't see the spread when you can see my face. Let's just see how this goes. So the first card being Poised, I do feel like Spirit wants you to know that right now you are really in a good position. You're poised, you're ready for something. Or you probably have felt like that for a while, and maybe you're a little bit scared to take a leap. Second card being Imagine. So in this instance, because the card number is 20, that simplifies to 2. I think that also would be something to do with co-creating with the universe. Whatever you're imagining, whatever you're dreaming right now, that's what you're putting into place. And at the moment, we're in Mercury retrograde. And so it's very likely what you're looking at is something that you've tried to start before, something that you felt ready for before, and right now you're sort of back in that manifesting stage of whispering things to the universe. And that's what Aquarian energy is really good for, because that's an air energy. Anything you manifest, basically as soon as you sort of think it and speak it, it does happen really quickly. So Spirit's asking you, now that you're ready, to really give some deep thought to what you're imagining and to what you're dreaming, and to what you're manifesting, because it's going to happen really quickly. And then the third card that we've got, Serendipity, 1 + 8, that's 9. That's a really beautiful card. So I feel like from those manifestations, you're probably going to start seeing some serendipitous things begin to happen, things that seem, well, I don't believe in coincidences, things that may seem like a coincidence. I might also see sequential numbers. That card being a 9, it's something to do with completion. So I feel like once you have begun to manifest, you then need to sit back and allow, and you'll start to see the signs, and that's going to be where you sort of realize that is, or it'll be the signs from Spirit saying that, you have manifested those things. Little tip for manifestation for anyone who's curious about that: start with something small. And that third energy, the serendipity, the allowing space, that I'm picking up on, sometimes what you ask for, you have to be very open with the universe about how you're to receive that. For example, I remember one time just trying it as a very small thing, and I said, okay, I just want to find $5. Just a $5 note, want to find a $5 note. I didn't care whose it was, it could have been mine, could have been anyone's. Just want to find a $5 note. So I kept it really, really simple, and I said I'd find it within 24 hours. And I know this sounds probably a little silly, but it was at a time where I still don't really work with cash. I do miss using cash, but that's the way society's gone. And I don't remember, I have no idea why, but I looked in my glove box one day, within the 24 hours, and I was just looking for, I don't know, gum or something, something that I might keep in the car that I couldn't find elsewhere, and I came across a $5 note scrunched up in there. Me scrunching notes, not really me. Me keeping notes, not really me. So it was my own money, obviously, it's in my car. So I know, again, that might sound a little silly, but I did ask for $5. I did ask for it within 24 hours, and I had not been keeping cash for a long time. So one of the last things I was thinking was that I'd stumble across it in that sort of manner. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, so if you're trying to manifest, start with some small things, because it really does help you to see results a little bit faster. It helps you to back up the energy that you've put out there so that you can trust it a little bit more and that sort of thing. All right, so that being said, so it looks like we're doing some manifesting energy. We've been poised for it for a while. Spirit's asking you to really pay attention to what you're imagining, thinking, dreaming, speaking to yourself, and how you do that. And then you're going to start seeing that manifest in sequential numbers, serendipitous things that seem like a coincidence that simply can't be. You will actually start seeing that sort of stuff come in. Okay. All right, so I'm going to have a little look through the tarot. We're just going to get some supporting energies for this. So I'll try and see what you're trying to manifest, how it's going, what you might need to pay a bit more attention to, and that sort of stuff. So where the obstacles and challenges are, they're always just opportunities, aren't they? I'm going to shuffle 3 times, and then I'll just sort of allow the cards to fly out. And we'll ask some, little questions about this. Thank you, Spirit. So, what are we trying to manifest? And of course, the High Priestess comes out. So, she's a little closed. You might be trying to manifest something in the dreamscape, or you could be looking at lucid dreaming. You could be a Cancer or a Pisces, or dealing with one. The High Priestess is all-knowing, but she's also somewhat closed off. So, I'm going to ask her again, what's the High Priestess trying to manifest? 5 of Cups in reverse. Oh, sorry, I'm still getting used to this camera. 5 of Cups in reverse. So you're probably trying to manifest a time away from regret, or away from loss. You're probably trying to manifest being okay, being by yourself as well. I feel like someone's probably gone through possibly a necessary breakup. And what I mean by that is that, if a person's only around you when you're in your old energy, of course they're going to get on going when you start vibrating higher. And that's a really important part of the process. And I think right now what you're manifesting is actually manifestation itself, and maybe some magical powers, especially with that Cancerian or Piscean energy, is very intuitive. So you might be manifesting more intuition, a closer relationship with your spirit or ancestors or guides, or however you look at it, with God, however you put it yourself, that's fine. And I think you're manifesting getting over a recent loss through that, and helping yourself to heal through that. So why are we manifesting that? Why are we manifesting that? Queen of Wands, because we're sick of not being confident. We want confidence. We want beauty in our life. We want to feel powerful. We may want to take action on some things. That's kind of opposite energies, the High Priestess and the Queen of Wands. The High Priestess is definitely the sort of energy that, very sure of herself and all that sort of thing. There's still confidence there, but she's very, very quiet. Whereas the Queen of Wands is someone that's a little bit more in the limelight, in the spotlight. It's fire sign energy, so you could be dealing with a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sag. However, this says to me more that you're wanting to stand in your power. You're wanting to start taking a bit more confident action in the world and sort of be seen, as opposed to sitting in the background, which maybe that previous relationship made you feel as though you had to be in the background, or maybe you put yourself in the background for someone. So that's pretty cool. So what are the challenges and obstacles then? Let's have a look at any challenges and obstacles. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they're very, 4. That just shot into my hand. They're very, very talkative today. So we've got the Hierophant, the 2 of Wands, the 3 of Swords, and the Devil in reverse. All right, let's talk about the Hierophant first. So the challenges, commitment. A lot of people will see this as commitment to, a partner, but I feel like that's what's fallen away. That's why we've sort of got the 3 of Swords and the 2 of Wands, because you're looking away from the heartbreak now. You see what I mean? Your back's turned to it. The heartbreak sort of brought you here, made you realize that you needed to heal something. What you needed to heal was the Devil, which is now in reverse, which is good. I wouldn't be surprised if Strength pops out at some point while we've got the Devil in reverse. But I think you've decided that you need to take responsibility for your own actions and your own heart and your own headspace and your own healing. And through that, where the commitment comes back in, you are probably trying to commit yourself to another person, and right now you're actually being asked to commit yourself to your relationship with yourself and your relationship with spirit. This is also a learning opportunity. So sometimes when the Hierophant comes out, I see him as a little harsh or a little stuck or stubborn. However, in this case, I'm really getting a very loud message that this is your relationship with your guides. The traditional tarot shows 2 people getting what is most likely married or something. I mean, it looks different depending on the cards that are around it. This one just has the doorway and the priest. The original one has the priest. There is a doorway or a window slightly behind them in the traditional. But this is saying to me that you've got doorways opening right now. Also, you could be dealing with a Taurus, Capricorn, air sign, fire sign. Signs don't really matter. That's why I don't call them out too much. However, this is what you're being called to, is to commit to yourself, commit to your spiritual path, commit to learning things as well, commit to maybe replacing shitty old habits. I'm saying that because of the Devil in reverse. Maybe you're realizing that you have the responsibility with yourself. Possibly a relationship that you were in also didn't work because of someone's addictive personality, or I don't just mean drugs and alcohol, that can be too, but codependency. So I think in this case you're coming unstuck from that codependency by realizing that you just don't want anything to do with the heartbreak anymore. You don't want to keep going back through that cycle of, I miss them, or I need them, or something like that, which is really heavy energy. And so you're being challenged to really look at this as an opportunity to connect yourself with spirit, basically, and connect yourself to yourself, hold yourself responsible and accountable, because that's why we have the 2 of Wands here as well. So that's talking about choosing your path, right? Like, he could go either way. They both look pretty, one's got kind of lightning, the other has birds, but also mountains. Like, they've both got their choices, but see how we've got the bucks there? The deer? I always see that as like, it's safe to go whichever way you choose. Whatever you're going to choose, though, is no longer going to be focused on your own heartbreak. That was actually a catalyst. I'm getting the word catalyst for your growth, for you to come into this serendipity and space of manifesting. I'm surprised the Magician hasn't showed up yet, but that's okay. I feel like the Magician and Strength are kind of here anyway. When I think of other cards, they don't necessarily need to show up. Okay, so that being your challenge and obstacle, you're probably also going to find that, especially with Mercury in retrograde, be very careful how you talk to yourself. Be careful of self-talk, and be careful of reaching out to exes. I can tell this is for someone that's just been through a breakup. Yeah, that happened for a reason. I'm just going to put that out there. That really did happen for a reason, because you're being asked to look after yourself and become more responsible for yourself and stop the codependency. Take this as it resonates. I could be talking to a cross-watcher or what have you. But that is the challenge, is to really, really stay on that path of looking after yourself. Because if I look at these 4 cards, the Devil in reverse and, the Three of Swords together. Then you got the Hierophant and the Two of Wands, which both to me are sort of about like, well, what path do you want to choose? You want to choose to be codependent again, or do you want to make an active choice to hang with spirit and see what happens with all of that? Because I personally think that's exactly what's happening right now for you, is that you've actually decided to really take responsibility for the co-creation that you have. That was a catalyst for you becoming a bit more spiritual or seeing the next part of your spiritual path. And I think that's a really, really brave and beautiful thing that you've done. So congratulations as well. You know, you got to, through all of this, thank yourself and be nice to yourself and have good positive self-talk. Because I think in those first 3 cards where we had the Imagine, and you know, this is about manifesting, it starts with how you think and how you feel about yourself, and it starts before spoken word. The reason why it manifests so quickly in Aquarius, though, is because air signs generally, you know, rule things that are wordy, thought, creation, that sort of thing. So as soon as you think it or speak it, you might actually find that it comes to you very quickly. All right, so let's have a look at where this is all going then. So, all right, I know some of you are curious. So what happens if you go back to that past lover? Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I've got the Four of Wands, the Knight of Swords in reverse, and then the Six of Swords. So I think if you go back to this person, you're going to be happy for a little while, and then you're going to have a whole bunch of arguments that are exactly the same as what you had before, and then you're going to have to move on again. Sorry to be so blunt about that, but because I'm seeing the 2 different choices, one is, you know, going back to the devil. Not to say that they are the devil, I'm saying the situation is the devil, it's the codependency. So that if you go back, I think it's going to feel good for a while because that first person feels like home, but I think the same arguments are going to start back up again and you're going to have to just do the same thing and move on again. I think history will repeat itself. So, and these are very talkative cards. I'm curious to see, so what happens if we just focus on ourselves, getting over that person and hang with spirit? What happens when we just hang with spirit? What's the outcome of that, please? 2 or 3 cards. That one wants to come out. Okay. Anything else? Yeah. Okay. So I think in this case, so we've got the Nine of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, and then the Fool. So I think you're going to feel still defensive. You're still feeling like the wounded warrior. Basically, each path is going to end up a little hard and you're not going to feel like you've got the luck. But the thing is, you need to see this from a new perspective. For this Wheel of Fortune to turn in your favor, you really just need to take a leap of faith. And I think something that's being offered to you, I don't know about the offer. I don't know why I'm saying offer, but take a risk. Take a risk on some sort of offer, because that Wheel of Fortune, luck is what you make it. I feel like this is inverted not because you're not lucky, but because you're looking at yourself through a wound. And I feel like taking a leap of faith, despite feeling wounded, if you just become the Fool in that ethereal energy and just take the leap of faith, leave your baggage and just go for it, whatever it is you're thinking of, go for it. I think that's where you're going to find happiness. So let me put those to the side. Sorry, I'm just sitting with it for a minute. Because I know it's really difficult when whichever way you choose, there's going to be a bit of pain, I guess. But it's, do you want to learn a lesson again and again and again with this old person? Or do you want to be like, you know what, yeah, I'm wounded, yeah, I feel unlucky, or I feel like things never go in my favor. And I think that's the mindset that you need to change. When you start co-creating with spirit, because remember, manifestation is co-creation. It's not just yourself working for this, it's the universe. And so that's why you've got to be really open about how it comes to you. Decide what you want. I think that's maybe what you've not done yet. Decide what you want. If you don't know yet, it'll come to you through your dreams. You are actually more ready than you realize to do whatever this venture is. I think you're a lot more ready than you realize. So let's find out then, how can we put down the wounded warrior? Oh, how can we put it down? Just a couple of cards. How can we put that down? Let me see what these is. Eight of Swords. Well, that's you trapping yourself, so that's what we need to put down. Be really, really careful about what you think and say about yourself in your own situation right now. How can we put that down? How can we put that down? How can we stop feeling trapped, please, Spirit? How can we stop feeling trapped? King of Swords, cutting out anything that's unnecessary. Sorry, I didn't show you the Eight of Swords. See how she looks trapped, but she's not actually. She can get out. She can squeeze through the bars. She can take her own thing off. Like, she's fine. She's lifted up in the air like that with the storm clouds because she's putting herself in this situation. How do we get out of it? Cut the bullshit. So I might be talking to an air sign. There's really heavy air energy that's actually come up here. Or you could be dealing with one. So that would be Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Doesn't matter. Doesn't have to be those signs. So in this case, you really just need to cut out the bullshit, not just with other people. Like, yes, the King of Swords will cut out relationships that are no longer serving him, which is beautiful. And he won't be cruel about it either. Possibly in reverse, he could be. But in this case, it's like, no, I'm looking right at you, Eight of Swords. What you actually need to cut out in this situation to be able to move forward is how you're looking at it, how you're perceiving yourself. You're perceiving yourself as stuck when you actually aren't stuck. So where's that coming from? Yeah, the Empress in reverse. So you don't feel like you're actually in your own power. However, you just need to see things differently. And that may mean standing still for a minute. I'm not seeing too much action here. I'm seeing after a while for you to have, the faith and to go for it. Yes, you'll be taking a leap of faith. You need to put down the conflict first. You need to actually actively be ready to accept spirit. You still need some healing. And I feel like what you need to heal is the fact that you feel like there was an injustice. And he's finally popped up, the Magician in reverse. So a lot of these are in reverse now, and I shuffle this deck really heavily. I don't usually read reversals. And like Eight of Pentacles in reverse. So I'm going to stop at that, stop looking at the back of the deck now. What's going on here is that you feel like you're stuck, possibly even in a work sense. And a lot of that is because you still need to cut out the idea that you're stuck, because you're not. And that can be really hard to deal with. So let me ask one more time. I'm just gonna, how can we feel unstuck or become unstuck? What do we need to cut out? There we go, and that popped out when it said, what do we need to cut out? All right, you've been waiting for an apology from this person. It's not gonna happen. Or maybe you felt as though you need to apologize. I don't actually think that that's the case. So we've had the Page of Cups come up. And the Page of Cups is an emotional message, generally an apology or like a reaching out to someone. You might be waiting for them to speak to you with an emotional message or to apologize. No. That doesn't matter. So if I can get these to show up properly on camera. So we've got the Eight of Swords and then the King of Swords and then we've got the Page of Cups. So the King of Swords is looking at the Eight of Swords, not the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups doesn't even exist to those two. So what you're not seeing is that with or without an apology, doesn't matter. What you need to cut out is your own idea that you're stuck. You need to let go of old ideas and belief systems that make you feel as though you're stuck because you're not. If you feel as though you don't have anything at the moment, that is just because Spirit cleared it all away so that when you were ready to manifest, which is now, and you're trying to, just be careful that you're not manifesting more of the same. That's kind of the challenge that Spirit has sent you now, is that this is your chance to actually change your own energy. You need to have a really deep think so that you can co-create with Spirit about how you're viewing yourself, why you view yourself that way, and how you might be able to kind of upend that and realize that instead of feeling like, oh, I have nothing at the moment, and I know this is really hard. I'm currently unemployed. I don't have a boyfriend. It's just me and my rabbit in an apartment by myself and I'm getting scared. So there's some real stuff, I'm saying that because I resonate with this as well. Like when I call for some sort of collective energy, generally it will show me something myself as well, and I've been getting these messages too, which is why I'm here to convey it to you. I'm not stuck. Everything is actually open for me right now. I need to make that choice to cut out my old belief systems, to cut out the idea of getting some sort of apology or emotional message. I think your focus is on you in spirit. If you can turn your back actively to even thinking about old situations right now and just focus on creating in the now. You're being asked to sort of stop stressing so much about the past. It's happened, put it down. And also understand that where the codependency came into the old relationship, that's actually something that's a part of you as well, and of them. Two people becoming codependent, and it takes two, but also it took two being like that to come together like that. So you're being asked to sort of focus on the reverse, fill your own cup. That's what I'm here to teach people. I struggle with it. I struggle with it a lot. It's actually me doing this channel that really helps me to focus and refocus back on it. It's fucking hard. Sorry, I do swear if you don't like that, as another of my favorite readers says, hard left. Because this is real talk, right? This is all about learning how to fill your own cup, learning how to transmute fear back into love, having self-love, having your own cup so full that whatever people can take from you is already just the love that's spilling over. And then there's nothing for them to take. You can only give to each other because your cup is already full. Yeah? Alright. Let's just see if there's any final messages. Final supporting look, and we've got the Star in reverse. So you probably feel like this is unattainable at the moment, but it's not. It's not. That's what the Eight of Swords is here. You know, you feel as though you can't. You can. And it's up to you. No one else is going to swoop in and save you. That's your job. So any final messages, please, Spirit? Any final messages that we need to have a little chat about before we get going? Whoop. Alright, we've got the Emperor in reverse and the Six of Pentacles in reverse. And we saw the Empress in reverse before as well. So this is definitely, and then look, we've got the Knight of Cups. I honestly believe that whatever the unfair situation was between yourself and, again, could be an Aries, doesn't matter. Both of you felt as though this was unfair. Both of you weren't actually in your highest resonance. You need to let it go so that you can start creating. I'm actually going to see this as the message from Spirit right now. You're going to have something come through in your dreams, or I'm really feeling in your dreams, or sudden downloads of information, it being Aquarian season, that are going to show you the way. Like this Knight of Cups here, I'm not seeing a person, I'm seeing slow, steady, emotional movement towards the things that you want. A message coming through from Spirit to clarify that. Which you will receive in your dreams, or is a very fast download, especially if you're in an air sign, it may just come through as like bang, thought. But it's that steady emotional energy, and that's what you need to do, is just steady yourself. Remember that everything you're doing is what you're choosing to do. So remember that you're the creator of your own destiny. Yeah. Let's see how you feel once you can get out of that Eight of Swords energy, huh? So I'm just going to, because that feels a little heavy, I'm going to also clarify with the Moonology cards. So I'll just shuffle that energy out because that's a little crappy. And we're going to round this out with some more positive stuff. 2 or 3 cards. I'm just going to ask specifically, my goodness, I'm getting so tongue-tied in this one. I'm going to ask Spirit, how do we get out of the Eight of Swords? And or what happens when we get out of that Eight of Swords? So how can we get how can we get out of that mindset? And one for where does that lead? How can we get out of that mindset? Step out of your comfort zone, North Node. I got this the other day on my Instagram. So this is asking you to really step away from what feels familiar. Could be habits, could be people. You know, that really fits in with what we just spoke about. Have a look at North versus South Node, because that also comes into career. And if you're feeling like, for some reason, I'm feeling like the person that you're no longer with was actually also holding you back from a career opportunity. And there's probably no 3D reason why that might happen. I think that's a 5D thing. I think their energy was blocking you. So that's how you can get out of the Eight of Swords. Step out of your comfort zone. Do the things that you wouldn't usually do. Do it. Think differently about yourself. Do it. You're worth it. Just remember that you're worth it. What happens from there? The answers you need are coming, full moon in Gemini. So look, I don't always look at these as timelines. I feel like this is actually happening quite soon. Funnily enough, the Gemini card came out when we only saw, Libra, Aquarius. Yeah, we didn't get the Lovers. Still, so there's Gemini. I'm feeling really strong air energy in this, but that doesn't surprise me with cards like Imagine and the fact that Mercury's in retrograde, and you know, that's Gemini's ruler as well. So if you're a Gemini especially, or a Libra and Aquarius, this is definitely a message for you guys. However, once you step out of your comfort zone, once you are able to actually take that leap of faith, stop telling yourself bullshit lies that you're not good enough, or that you're not going to be able to do this, or that you're too wounded to do it. Work through what you still need to work through. Step out of that Eight of Swords. Step out. Stop doing that to yourself, because you are doing that to yourself. You are keeping yourself in that energy. Whether you know it or not, I know that's really hard, and I don't mean to be a pill. But once you can actually step out of that, once you realize that the Eight of Swords is your comfort zone, and that it's up to you to move out of it, that's when you're going to get some answers. And that ties really nicely back into the first three cards that we had, which was Poised, Imagine, and Serendipity. Because I think the Imagine piece is what we just went through. Like, Poised, you were already ready for all of this. That's why you've come here to this reading. Imagine is that step. You know, it's that really airy step. And again, look into your North and South Node. Soulful Revolution TV is really good with that sort of stuff. She offers classes as well. I'm not here to sponsor her. I just think she's fantastic. You might get some really good information from her. However, once you can step out of your comfort zone, once you step out of that Eight of Swords, you're going to be able to manifest really quickly. And where it says the answers you need are coming, that's the serendipity piece. So that will be universe throwing you all sorts of signs that universe might be showing you those now. You can't see it just yet. You got to step out of your comfort zone so that you can be in that sort of receptive mode of manifesting. Well, good luck. Thank you all for being with me. Thank you for being kind to me, showing my face. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, and for being with me. And yeah, here's to many more readings that should come soon.